If someone looked at your bank accounts, your credit card statement, or even your investment today, would they say you're in control or are you just getting by? If things are feeling messy, you don't need more income, you don't need another app, you need a reset. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at a 30-day financial reset challenge. Now, this is something that I share with a lot of people that I do financial education and counseling for. Simple daily actions that can bring clarity, control, and confidence back to your money. So let's go ahead and break this down. Now, of course, when it comes to a reset, most people don't struggle with money because they're very bad with numbers. They struggle because they don't understand where their money is going. This is kind of the fundamental or really the root when it comes to financial education, really that financial literacy. Decisions are very emotional and everything feels overwhelming when it comes to money. 30-day reset can really work because it can create momentum. With small wins, it can give you a little bit more clarity in exactly where your money's going before you take any actions. And it can also replace stress with a really fundamental system that we're going to be covering. It isn't about punishment, it's about starting at a clear slate when it comes to your finances. So, phase one of this really breaks down day 1 to 7. So, you have an entire week to go through and kind of do an expense audit. What we're going to do, this is awareness. It's not about judgment. It's about taking accountability when it comes to the actions and when it comes to the things where your money is actually going. So within these 7 days, we're breaking down day 1 and day 2. This is gathering everything. Now we are talking bank statements, credit card statements, subscriptions, monthly bills, anything that you can get together that kind of shows an insight in your financial life. I want you to get them all together. We're not going to be budgeting yet, just telling the truth, looking at it in black and white, looking at it on paper, on statements, on exactly kind of ground zero, point one or day one, what you're doing. Now, day 3 to 4, categorizing the expenses. This is important when you start looking at housing, transportation, food, utilities, subscription, debt, lifestyle. There are so many things that come into categorizing those expenses. And of course, we can start looking at the needs and the wants, breaking it down and seeing exactly where this money is going. Might feel uncomfortable, but it's going to be normal. And honestly, the awareness comes first when it comes to starting out a budget. And day number 5 to 7 is asking you the questions. What surprises you when it comes to the budget? What are you overpaying for? A lot of people, and we know this is very true when it comes to subscription services, when it comes to things you're not even using in their entirety, you can cancel, you can negotiate, you can simplify the overall budget. And we don't need any more money right now. We are just looking at getting control and knowing at a very base level exactly what is going on. Then we kind of move into phase 2. This is the budgeting part, and this is rebuilding the budget. This is where I come in. I have done this for actually a number of years now, building and working with people. This is in really focusing on and building a plan that works in the entirety. Very simple, choose a budgeting method. Now, for me personally, I use zero-based budgeting. You could do a 50-30-20. You could do a pay it yourself first. There are a lot of different ways, and it really doesn't worry about really perfection. That doesn't matter at all. We are looking for consistency and knowing exactly how we're going to do this. Now, when it comes to day 10 through 11, assigning every dollar. Now, this is where I feel like a lot of people really miss the boat or they miss the hurdle. Every dollar needs a job, whether it's going into spending, savings, giving, or my favorite, investing. Every dollar needs a place to go. Unassigned money will completely disappear. And this is where you get kind of one of two people. Either you're a person that gets paid, spends all their money at the end of the month, really wonders where that money went, where the paycheck was spent, or you're the individual that intentionally plans where every dollar is going. And at the end of the month, you might have a little bit extra because you planned and know exactly where you want to put that money. That is what I do with dollar cost averaging. Now, day 12 through 14, if this is really adding in some flexibility, if one unexpected expense is going to absolutely break your budget, the budget is not going to work. You got to build in the reserve. You got to build in the margin. You got to build in that emergency fund. And really, it's more about flexibility, not rigid budgets, really. When you start looking at some flexibility, if there are things that you love to do, put them in the budget. I always stress this with individuals, whether you like to go on vacation, whether you like to go to the movies, you go out to dinner, whatever it may be, if it works in its entirety, build it into the budget. Now, getting in today's 15 through 21, this is really the debit and the credit reset. This is where you can start building momentum. This is the point of the reset and really the momentum where you can start breaking down the budget. We're writing down balances. We're looking at interest rates. We're looking at minimum payments. No shame. Really, it is about accountability. When I talk about this, this is the big thing. When it comes to black and white, when it comes to the facts and financing, it is about taking accountability in there. Then we're going to look at one of two methods, which again, this is something that I've done for an incredible amount of time. We are looking at the snowball method, which is going to drive your motivation, or are we looking at the avalanche method, which mathematically does work a lot better. Now, both of these do work incredibly well, but more about progression than it is about perfecting exactly what this is. And like I said before, if you make your budget and you're starting to put too much money into these debt repayment strategies, chances are it's going to fail or it's going to stall out when it gets a little bit further. And of course, with this, we want to focus on really a couple different things to make sure that your credit habits and your credit score is staying up. The first one being paying on time, getting that utilization down below the 30%, and stop emotional spending. This is the time where if you have a 30-day window, we can kind of pause a lot of the spending, even if it's temporary, to figure out exactly where the budget is. Again, we're really trying to get down to ground zero, and your credit score will follow the behaviors that you have. Then we move into phase 4, which is the final phase, guys. One of my favorite ones, looking at days 22 through 30. This is the saving and investing part. Now that we're moving forward, now that we know exactly where our money's coming in, how much we're spending, how much we're repaying for debt, what we're allocating, this is the part we start looking at the emergency fund. And of course, we are going to be working towards 3 to 6 months over time once we work in conjunction really to eliminate some of that debt. And of course, we're going to go through and we're going to automate everything. I am a huge, huge advocate when it comes to automating the savings, the investing, the retirement, the payments. If everything happens automatically, it completely takes the emotional aspect out of it in the entirety. And knowing that everything is paid and all of your dollars are going exactly where we set them up, where you wanted them to be assigned, it really does make a difference. And then you can take a step back. And this is a lot of the interesting part, because this is where you can really set a direction. When you think of a ship, when you're setting sail, you know usually the destination. This is where you set the vision, what you want your financial freedom to look like, and if you're really going to do that debt-free journey. It's time to ask yourself, what am I building? What exactly are you saving for? What is the why behind your financial well-being? What does freedom look like if you have the ability to quit your 9 to 5 and still have all of your expenses covered in its entirety? That would look absolutely free. And what kind of legacy do you want to leave to your kids, to your grandkids? Money needs purpose to really matter. When we go to a job at our 9 to 5, and if you're just earning money and kind of churning through and burning all of the money that you're earning, chances are if you earn more money, you're going to be in that exact same scenario. Nothing with that is going to change at all, because that is what you're used to, really giving your money and giving every dollar a purpose when it comes to building it out. Now, of course, completing this 30-day test and really the reset, you'll know exactly where your money goes, which is priority number 1. You'll have a real plan with your money, which most people that I talk to, and honestly, probably 1 out of 100, actually have a concrete budget, actually have a plan in place, and feeling in control of their money and knowing exactly what they're doing. Most of the time when they come to see me as a certified financial counselor, this is where we develop the vision. This is where we get the plan. We get the budget. We plan for retirement. It isn't about perfection. It's about intentionally using your money to work as hard as you do. So of course, guys, if this helped you at all, definitely like the video. It gets it out to a lot of other individuals. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and comment reset. And starting on day 1, seeing exactly what this looks like, your future self will thank you, and I'll catch you in the next video.